Guys of a Certain Age is brought to you by no one. Absolutely no one. Except these dudes walking down memory lane. Now let's head to the studio to see what they misremember next.
The white smoke is billowing. That can mean one of three things. It's either a new brisket, a new podcast, or a new pope. In our case, it's choice B. It's Guys of a Certain Age. Robbie Koblentz in studio with
Art Shirley.
And Benedictus Reed.
I thought you were going to call yourself a cardinal.
I thought you were going to say Benedictus Cumberbatch,
but and we were both wrong. How are we doing, guys? This, as we're recording, the white smoke is billowing at the Vatican, and they said they've announced they've got a new dude to put the hat on, and
I think white smoke means the it's not time to put your meat on yet, right? That's you're supposed to wait till the smoke is blue, right?
Sure. Well, the proper smoke is billowed, so yes. They'll be announcing a pope on the balcony.
Have either of y'all watched the movie Conclave yet?
Yes, we were just talking about that.
I have not. Have you?
It's really we watched it a couple of weeks ago. It's like right as we didn't watch it after the Oscars, but we watched it after Pope Francis died, and we knew this was coming up. It's a great movie.
It really kind of throws a new light on.
It certainly does. It feels like a murder mystery.
It does. Actually,
it's not. I mean, the Pope has died, but. It's just a lot of intrigue, just kind of a lot
great actors too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So the social media rumor was that some of these cardinals actually watched Conclave.
Oh, really?
Before they went,
okay.
Just to get an idea of what was happening. Because I think what did we hear, Jay, just a minute ago? So we were waiting on somebody to show up to do a podcast. There's 33 new cardinals who may not
barely have
barely been cardinal long enough to, and there's 125 of them there total, something like that.
Something I read that there was 252 total in the world, and 133 came, something like that.
But they didn't have enough room to house them all in the area that they normally house them in, so they had to
put them in the Best Western.
That's right.
Hopefully, at least they got a Hilton Garden Inn.
Yeah.
So, but you don't get free breakfast at a Hilton Garden Inn, but you do at Hampton. So I'll just tell you that Hampton again still has the best waffles. So
we should be getting a sponsorship out of this.
Yeah, that's right. So all right, let's jump into Geeks of the Week. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Jay.
Oh wow!
Who are you? What have you done to Art? He's trying to find a geek.
Okay, well I will go ahead. I have found us a new way to kind of live out our Star Wars dreams. We've talked about jetpacks. We've talked about other transportations. Well, I have a new one.
What's that?
It's called, the company
It's called a moped.
It's called the Air Bike, which is not a fancy name.
Yeah, I've seen this.
But the Volonaut is the name of the company. The guy's
we don't
name
use that type of language on this podcast.
Tomasz Patan. He's a Polish guy. You may have seen it because the first video of a flight came out like April 30th, and then on May the 4th for Star Wars,
they
put a stormtrooper on this thing and sent him through the woods.
Okay, I saw the one where the guy was on it,
like over the desert kind of looking.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, is this real, or is he just like, have they hidden the cables that are holding him up?
They've got him now. I mean, I saw actually a YouTube video where a guy was trying to decide. He's like, is this AI or is this real? He decided it was real.
Okay,
who knows if he's real, but. It's really cool to see this stormtrooper flying through Endor, or what looks like Endor. I'm showing it to the guys here as we talk.
Actually, you're showing it to no one.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it and discussing it. But
you're showing it to yourself.
Showing it to Art at the moment because I can't show both sides. But
yeah, that's hard to believe that's real.
So he's the guy who developed it. Apparently was also involved in one I think I maybe have talked about before, the Jetson or the Jetson, which is a propeller-driven air bike. This one is jet propulsion, and the thing about it is the Jetson is like $128,000, and apparently they sold all those out. Dubai police are using them, that kind of thing. But which I think we talked about before. That's kind of sounded familiar. But this one,
or maybe you dreamed.
Yeah, this one there. Yeah, well, that's true too. This one doesn't have any like specs out there. There's been some demos in these videos, but there's no like how much fuel does it take? What kind of fuel does it take? Does it have?
Thanks for letting me see
Oh, sorry.
Jay's phone art.
Usually, Robbie, you're already on your own little iPad there, going to town. And
Buddy, this is an iPad Pro. It's not a little iPad.
Little iPad.
little iPad. Ours at home is a little iPad. But anyway, it's kind of cool. I mean, there's no details on.
So you've got one order.
Whether you can even order it or not.
So Art and I should
or
be
how
expecting,
fast it goes or how long.
We should be expecting this for our Christmas presents from you.
Yeah, if you want a copy of the video, I'll be glad to provide that.
Well, at least
Christmas.
we see it then.
That's true.
Unlike now.
Yeah.
It's very special. Only I can see it.
Yeah, that's right. That's
But
right.
the Volanaut air bike, check it out. I mean, I found it on, guess what? My Popular Mechanics.
You know,
Did you really?
I really did.
I hit Popular's Mechanics this week, and yeah, okay.
Either Popular Mechanics or Popular Science. I forget. Maybe Popular Science, not Mechanics. I get an email occasionally from Popular Science, and I click that link. It's like, this is my kind of geek.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Did they send it to you on a postcard?
Well, yeah, I'm not against postcards. I like postcards.
Do you like postcards?
I send postcards.
I've never gotten a postcard from you.
Well, I'll have to work on that.
Have you ever gotten a postcard from him?
Oh, yeah. I got one when he was in Orlando, and then at that time, no,
I was in Rome. I was just in Rome.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Did you get flunked
Hey.
out on the third vote? Is that what happened?
I secretly changed the wood so white smoke will come.
They're standing there 10 hours later waiting for the Pope to appear.
Well, I'm gonna go with my geek of the week since it kind of comes into Star Wars. So I'm caught up as we record. 9 of 12 episodes of Andor have dropped.
Oh, wow.
You've watched 9. I've watched 8. We finished 8
I
last
watched
night.
all 3 of
I
them.
wanted to
yesterday.
watch 9, but we waited until, it was like 11 o'clock. I said, I can't.
Yeah.
Because it's so good.
It's so great. It to me.
Don't spoil the ninth
I'm
one
not
for me.
I'm not gonna spoil
Spoil
anything.
the fourth one for me.
I'm not,
Yeah, he means the movies. I understand they're calling it A New Hope now.
Well, so one of the things that Andor has done for me has really kind of transformed Star Wars: A New Hope from a hero's quest, kids science fantasy, space fantasy to an actual political movement, because that's what Andor is, and we'll probably get into that at some point.
Yeah, what's because there's another 3 to drop, right?
Yeah.
Now, are they going to drop all 3 of them next?
Yes.
Okay, so because it looked like to me, I didn't know if they were going to all of a sudden change till 1 episode a week. For the rest of the time.
I think they're dropping all 3, and
Yeah.
it's supposed to lead straight into Rogue One.
Yeah,
So
they said that like it's almost a scene cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and Tony Gilroy is the creative force behind this. He's the guy who directed Rogue One. And this to me is the best Star Wars since Episode 4.
really, okay.
I
Even
cannot
Mandalorian season 1.
even Mandalorian season 1, because this
I
flashes.
don't know that I disagree with you. Yeah.
It's just so amazing once you get through Episode 9.
Here's the thing, and not to jump on your geek, but that because we could talk about, and I can't wait till we have a chance to talk about this one. But it to me is a natural growth of where Star Wars was. Yes,
Yeah.
you watch you watch the whole movie trilogy. Original trilogy, and it's the hero's quest story. The story of Luke Skywalker works beautifully as that, and then you can add this very grown up. I won't say adult because it's a different connotation now, but this political, thriller. This really well thought out, well built worlds and languages and all this kind of stuff. That works for people that knew Star Wars as a kid and now want to watch something that's we don't mind watching the fun stuff too, but this is really.
To me, Andor does what Lucas was trying to do with the Phantom Menace and set up the political backstory of the Empire. But what I'm going to say is, and this will apply to you and you as I point to both of you, when you get done watching Episode 9 tonight, or whenever you watch it, then you need to go watch Rebels Season 3, Episode 18, Secret Cargo.
Yeah.
And I think you've watched Rebels, right?
I've watched some of Rebels. I haven't watched all of it, but I will go watch that one.
So it picks up
yeah.
with Mon Mothma leaving, and so it's really cool. There are 2 characters from Andor that appear
in this episode of Rebels. And Mon Mothma is voiced by Genevieve O'Reilly, who's playing the part and has really played it, other than the original trilogy, has played it every time, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Apparently, she had some scenes record it in Revenge of the Sith that were cut.
Okay.
But I saw some commentary where someone said, is there any other minor character from the original trilogy that has been taken and fleshed out and as important as the character Mon Mothma?
You know, you think about it, you have Boba Fett, who had his own series, but never, to me, has
the Pope's coming out. The Pope's coming out.
The Pope's coming out.
Okay, anyway, we'll talk about Pope later. But
Okay.
anyway.
That had his own series, but never, to me, got to be as three-dimensional as what they've done with Mon Mothma. The scene where she's dancing, and we've seen a lot of stuff about that.
Incredible.
Wedding. Yeah.
Yeah, just absolutely incredible.
Sorry, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I think I saw the dancing scene.
Yeah.
Probably did.
In the wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last
when she kept drinking.
episode I saw, yeah.
And it's like this is kind of the last moment of reckless abandon she's going to be able to have.
So we'll do an Andor deep dive, I'm sure, soon. But my geek is to come in and say, hey, once you watch episode 4,
Yeah, I
watch
saw that.
episode Secret Cargo.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And
so it's
it's season 3, episode 18.
season 3, episode 18.
So if you go to Disney Plus,
Yeah.
the thumbnail has my mom.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
That picture. So yeah. Okay,
So,
good deal. So we can find it if we forget those numbers.
Yeah, but Andor is.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll finish Andor tonight.
Yeah.
And then go right into that.
Yeah.
And I did hear some people say, well, it's kind of, tonally it's a different shift or whatever, but it works pretty well.
I mean,
And it takes you from whatever happens at the end of 9 to whatever's going to happen at the beginning of 10, right? It's
yeah.
the right step. Okay.
Yeah. It's there's some resolution in it, and so I cannot wait to see what happens in 10, 11, 12.
Okay.
So, but my plan is while we're going to Dolphin Island is to download
Seasons 1 and 2
and Rogue One and watch them straight through. So
You're going to get Rebels too?
nah, probably not. So.
It's worth doing it one time, but afterwards, it's
Yeah.
like we'll stay with some live action for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
I told because Becky's kind of watched it peripherally, and then she watched episodes. It was 7 and 8 last night, and she's going, "No, what's going on with that?" Yeah, she does. But and so I think she really realized that it was not just typical Star Wars. It was and like not that she doesn't love Star Wars, but
Just wasn't all pew 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 pew.
yeah. Yeah,
There's a little pew pew.
Yeah.
there was a lot of pew pew.
Yeah.
But it was people hitting targets.
Well, I will tell you taking a throwaway line from the Legends with the Gorman Massacre and what they've done to expand upon is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
incredible.
It was very moving.
Yeah.
Well, but we'll talk about that later. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
sure.
shift gears to a Marvel movie. Huh? Which may have something tie in later on. But Chris Hemsworth, he of Thor fame, wants the Extraction director to direct Marvel's Thor 5. I had forgotten there was going to be a Thor 5, but he's the one
Is
character.
he just hoping there's going to be a
No,
Thor
I
5?
think there's been talk about doing
Yeah.
a Thor 5, and I think because they don't want to end on Love and Thunder, which I still want to call Love and Rockets, but
you're so
Love and
alive.
Thunder was Taika Waititi, and that was the second movie he did, and just as we've talked about before, didn't quite hit. And so they want to do something to kind of bring Thor back. I think Thor always needs some humor in it. That character works well with that. But they want to do something that's not quite as off the rails as Love and Thunder was. And so the Extraction director, who is Sam Hargrove, I think is his name. Let's see, I had it right there. No, I don't have it. Anyway, let's just say that's what his name is.
All right. I'm watching the
Pope.
the Pope, and there's a
And it's
Catholic
Chris Hemsworth.
priest.
It's Chris Hemsworth.
There's a Catholic priest down in the crowd with an old fashioned camcorder recording.
No, like a VHS recording.
It wouldn't that be? It looked like a digital 8 or a high 8.
Okay.
It's like, oh my goodness. They haven't said. Oh wow! American Cardinal announced his new pope.
You're kidding.
Boom, Pope Jabo. So yeah, no, he's American.
Is his name Sentry? No. Is he wearing gold? Sorry, I'm alluding to the next topic.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the Donald Trump AI generated thing.
Oh, okay. This is pretty
Okay.
crazy.
Do
All
they-
right.
That's interesting, though.
That's
because,
very interesting. This would be the first American
Vegas
Pope.
had a
Catholic priest in Vegas, or
Mexican or Spanish, Latin, maybe South American is what I'm trying to say.
Well, and there was speculation that an African Pope could be named, which I thought would have been really cool. So, Prevost is elected Pope. Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So I wonder who's going to be the university president.
I was thinking the same thing.
Wow.
But they haven't said what his Pope name is going to be yet?
No, I don't think so. He was born in 55. Yeah, I'm looking at that. Okay. Yeah.
Gosh.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little too close to the age of the Pope. Well, still a little older than I am, but that guarantees that unless something happens like Pope John Paul, he lasted a month, I think, right?
Yeah. The next Pope will be your age, right?
Well, be older. I mean, be younger, be considerably younger.
All right. Well,
we'll be back with popes of a certain age.
Oh, wow. Okay. Anyway.
And congratulations. That's a wonderful thing for the church. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So,
anyway, I can't.
Hemsworth, Extraction.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the Extraction movies?
No, but I did go back and rewatch Love and Thunder, and it wasn't as
bad as you thought it was.
Yeah, it was not
remembered
bad.
It being. Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It was kind of fun.
Okay.
The thing was, Christian Bale acted his butt off.
That's the shame of it.
And everybody else was like, home to home to home.
And he's kind of, looked over, and he's easily one of the best Marvel villains that they've had.
The God Butcher. Yeah. And that's a great comic book run.
Yeah,
too.
and they, just kind of went for naught.
Sam Hargrave.
Thank you. I don't know why I can't find it. It was just right here in blue. Maybe that's why I couldn't see it.
You have your blue light glasses on.
Colorblind.
If he had blue light glasses on, he wouldn't be able to see anything.
That's right.
Yeah. So, all right.
Jay.
Robbie. What?
Thank you for finding that.
I saw an Atari 2600 print ad on a Facebook group when they were pitching the Atari, and it had Stevie Wonder.
I saw that.
Was that real?
Yes, I think that was real.
If Stevie could see, he would play Atari.
My God!
How horrible is
saw
that?
it too, Jay?
Well,
No.
hey, Robbie sent it to us.
Oh, maybe that's where I saw it.
Yeah.
Did you send it to us?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, just horrible.
Yeah.
Oh man, the people we once were and will be again. All right. We are going to take a break. We actually went to go see something kind of cool a couple nights ago. We're going to talk about it up next. And we're back. Guys of a certain age, that might give you a little hint what we're going to talk about. Remember when this song came out?
Oh, yeah. You used to play it on the radio.
Jay, do you not remember Thunder Island?
I remember the song. I couldn't tell you when it came out.
I think it was
79?
Yeah, something like that. So the back end of disco. Oh, I just turned it off. Well, Thunder Island. Okay. So, but we're not going to talk about Thunder Island. We're going to talk about ThunderBolts Asterisk.
I thought you were talking about Thundar the Barbarian.
Oh, because I sent you that photo.
That's right.
Was that crazy?
That was crazy.
I found a photo of a live enactment of Thundar the Barbarian at some kids' award
I think
show.
it was a Saturday morning award show or kickoff or something like that.
I don't even know who Thundar the Barbarian
and Oogla the Monk? Oh,
it was kind of a Herculoids-esque thing. It probably taken off on the Conan stuff because the movie had probably just come out. Maybe this first.
But it was far in the future. It's a dystopian.
Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Thundar the Barbarian. So, Oogla.
I was way too old to be watching it, but I liked it too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You probably were.
And I can't remember the woman's name.
I don't remember.
We all noticed the same thing about the microphones.
The microphones. Anyway, so
speaking of microphones,
this one's on. Let's probably stop talking about things like that. Sorry, Mr. Reed. Let's talk about the ThunderBolts. So we went to go see the MCU's latest entry. What was it, 2 nights ago?
It was Tuesday night.
Indeed.
Yeah, the three of us and my wife and my oldest son.
Because that's the night we could afford to go.
Although I can afford to go anytime now. Because senior discount, I realized, kicks in at like 60 instead of.
Do you really want to admit that in public?
Oh, shoot, yeah.
Yeah, Robbie tried to get it for me, and the guy said, well, they're all $550 tonight anyway. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So you could probably get it going forward, Jay.
Except I'm not 60. That's the only problem.
Yeah, but you look it. It's not how you feel; it's how you look. So,
I'm not sure that's a compliment.
yeah,
it's not.
Definitely not.
I'll clear that up for you.
yeah, it's not at all. It's not at all. So, let's do spoiler alert. We're going to talk Thunderbolts. So let's jump in. Initial responses. Well, not initial. I got your initial responses. 48 hours later, what did you guys think about Thunderbolts? Why don't you go first, Jay?
Okay.
Jay?
I will say that when we went to see Captain America, Brave New World, or whatever it was, that sort of gave a glimmer of hope. I didn't love that one, but it did seem like we're getting back. And I think Thunderbolts is a big step in the right direction for getting Marvel back to where we love it.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it had a good combination of action and character development, and there was, old and new both to kind of bring in, to keep it interesting, and there was still sort of a heartwarming story. I mean, there's also some dark stuff too, but it had a good little story behind it, a thread,
a redemption arc.
Yeah, rather than just pew 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 pew, which is a different.
So there's a lot of pew pew in it too.
There's a lot of that too. But overall, I think I think we're not there yet, but I think we're going to get back to it.
What do you think, Art?
Yeah, I'm kind of similar to that. I liked it. I don't know that I loved it. I've enjoyed it quite a bit. I think that the mental health stuff that they brought up was really, the way they did it was great. I thought that there was a lot to it. I guess at the end of the day, I'm thinking they spent most of their time fighting each other. So they're kind of like, okay, well, that's okay. But and then I'm not as familiar with those characters, so I guess I didn't have the love for it. I do feel like we've talked about the Captain America movie. I had hopes for that. And really, the first 2/3 of that movie, I thought were working, and the last third kind of fell apart. This one I felt this one I felt was more consistent throughout. Like I said, I don't know that we're there yet, but I feel like the promise is there. And I will say, the end credits scene is one of those that the whole audience just got really into. I thought was really good. So that was good. Go ahead.
We'll get to that in a second. The end credits, because that's a whole different.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
I liked it probably more than you guys did. I thought it had a right balance of action and humor. And that's the thing that sometimes Marvel, the latest couple phases of Marvel movies, they've taken themselves a little too seriously. And the humor has not been there. I thought this was pretty funny.
I've heard it compared to the Eternals. People are saying basically the Eternal story and this story are the same thing. You've got a group of heroes that people aren't really familiar with, and they bring them together for the first time. And not the story so much, but the kind of the concept. But the Eternals did not have, if I remember correctly, it did not have the sense of humor about it that this did. Even though you didn't know this, folks, the Red Guardian was great. All that stuff was really, really good. I think one thing too is the part where Sentry is, and I'm not getting too much of the story, was sending folks to the shadow world for the void. Yeah, so it's a little too much like the Snap to me. Yeah, and so I think that was kind of that to me was a little bit, but I liked the way that they were using that to portray, depression. And so I thought that was good. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say the Red Guardian, Black Widow character, the new Black Widow, that whole father-daughter dynamic, that rift, the mental health issue, the depression issue, the unfulfilled life issue.
Well, see, I tell Bonnie, I said, my problem was I was looking for something to escape from, and I'm going, this feels like my daily life here. I don't know. But Florence Pugh was fantastic.
She is great.
I thought everybody was really good.
Yeah.
I told Bonnie, too, that my wife would have loved Sebastian Stan riding up on the motorcycle. That was the good part. But the dynamic you said, that was really good with Red Guardian and Elena.
Yeah. Sebastian Stan getting pizza sauce on his tugs and on his arm and putting his arm through the dishwasher. That was it. And I knew at that point.
It had a lot. And the whole ride in the limo where they're escaping the soldiers that are coming after him.
Holt and
that's like, it's bulletproof-ish.
It's great. It's great. Have you guys seen the standalone Red Guardian limo service commercial that's floating out there?
I gotta see that. That's good.
Just search it. It was on a Marvel Facebook.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, you know. And he makes a comment about, I will not be in super suit because it takes too long to put on, you know. So, but David Harbour as the Red Guardian
is great. And I really, gosh, dog, what's his name? Wyatt Russell.
Wyatt Russell is great.
They're making the Captain America, the fake Captain America. Those jokes were hilarious, you know.
Yeah.
But what is his? Does his character have a?
Well, in the comic books, it was U.S. agents,
but they never call him that in this, right? But that's what I was thinking. So anyway, they call him Walker. I mean, they really just kind of call him by their names. And
Walker, Captain Ranger.
And I read a couple things saying that at one point in the writing, he was going to be the villain.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I was going to bring that up. At one point, he was going to be a Red Hulk figure.
Yeah.
Where Valentino was keeping control of him with the Red Hulk and serum. Thank you, Mr. Pharmacist. Hit the button and go, and just like happened to Harrison Ford. So
and I think, like I said, I think the dynamic of all the characters is good. To me, they work better than Suicide Squad does.
Yes,
because they're a little more traditional heroes, even though they're villains or mercenaries or whatever they are. Where Suicide Squad gets a little bit too out there for me, you know. But it was good. I'm thinking about the scene where they were climbing up, the tunnel, and just like, let me go first, and I just hadn't thought about how they were going to do that.
Yeah, that was great. And the guy who plays Sentry, who plays Bob, he was really, really good.
Yeah, that's Bill Pullman's son.
Yeah, Lewis.
Oh,
Pullman.
is it?
Yeah, I read that too.
Okay, he was in Lessons in Chemistry on Apple TV Plus.
Oh, okay,
really?
with Brie Larson.
So
I just finished that book. I'm anxious to watch it.
The series is great. So Sentry and Captain Marvel will have a little thing.
But
going
the other
on.
thing, that's one thing you wonder about too, and this has been kind of a criticism, is like if you have a movie that they kept saying the Avengers are no more, the Avengers are here, but we do know some of them are still around. I mean, Captain Marvel is still around, the Wasp is still around, Ant-Man's still around. Doctor Strange, I think, is still around.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's still around.
Last we saw Doctor Strange, he was leaping across the multiverse with his third eye going to stop an incursion.
That's right. That's right. Now, you were saying you thought it was the best Marvel movie in 5 years.
I haven't looked up since.
Well, I did look and see Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was in there, and I really liked that movie. And it was kind of a different take. It was Sam Raimi doing a horror movie, basically.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good. Spider-Man: No Way Home is in that group.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if we can. I mean, I think we consider that Marvel, even though it's still Sony, right?
Sure. Yeah. Probably my favorite since No Way Home. I did like Multiverse quite a bit.
Becky could not stand. I watched that. And
did she not like it?
You liked this movie? And I said, yeah, that's great.
Shang-Chi was good.
Shang-Chi I liked, yeah.
But No Way Home was probably
the favorite of those.
Yeah.
I would say that. I could see that.
And then I like Guardians 3 okay.
Guardians 3 was okay, yeah.
And I like the Marvels better than you guys did, I think.
I like the Marvels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
it's one of those that I really, if I had to try to think of what movies I've seen in the past 5 years, I don't know that I'd come up with it.
Yeah, I forgot about it, but I enjoyed it.
So at the end, they removed the asterisk and changed the name to the New Avengers.
So is that true to the comics?
This is outside of comic. We're outside of comic.
And they're not even the Thunderbolts. I mean, the Thunderbolts, those characters are different. That's a different group.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Thaddeus Ross, who, Harrison Ford, the Thunderbolts.
The Red Hulk is a Thunderbolt, right?
Yeah.
Deadpool's a Thunderbolt?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of a true Suicide Squad-ish type of characters in the comic book that Thunderbolt Ross heads up.
Yeah.
So this is not canon per se. I guess canon for the MCU, but not for the comics.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So
interesting.
It's
and what about Sentry? In that same vein, in the movie, he's kind of good guy and bad guy. So what is he in the comics?
I don't know a whole lot about
me either.
Sentry.
I don't really know. And that's one thing I was thinking about is that I'm just not familiar with it. I know he's supposed to have a power set that's very much like Superman,
And they compared him to Captain Marvel, too, and some of the stuff I saw.
Well, yeah. And that's what – so you're watching that, and I'm thinking, all right, if they're having this much trouble with Sentry, which understandably they would, what's going to happen when Silver Surfer shows up and then Galactus shows up? So, of course, those folks have some power.
Yeah.
And where's Vision? Of course, Vision, is gone, but
Where's White Vision?
White Vision.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, we like the humor. We like the team aspect. We like the redemption arc. What about Elaine from Seinfeld?
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask that. What did y'all I thought she was great.
I thought
she did pretty good. I wasn't sure how that would go, but I think it went all right.
So,
I mean, she's always, I know she's played a bunch of different parts. Veep, she did a lot of stuff with that, but, there's always a little Elaine there for me.
there really is.
But I thought she was good, and she played it with just kind of the right bit of tongue in cheek. I thought that was good.
There's speculation that her assistant Mel is going to be Mockingbird.
Really?
I saw that.
Okay.
I couldn't remember the character name, but I did see that there was a.
Let's see if I can get all
hint
that.
of
Yeah, that was Adrienne Palicki in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, she was so good.
Yeah.
Man, she was so good.
And I really like her as an actress. She was in the Beanie Bubble.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she was.
Mel was?
She was the main one that developed the software, I think.
Okay, yeah, I remember that now.
And then I forgot. I looked her up earlier to see what else she was in. She's in, something else that I've seen recently, but now I've already forgotten. But I really like her. I'd like to see her doing more stuff.
I was looking, it's Bobby Morse, and I think it was Thunderbolts. Let me look it up. I think it was Mockingbird.
Oh, she was in You're Cordially Invited, which is just
I haven't watched
Will
that
Ferrell
yet.
and Reese.
Did y'all watch that?
I have, yeah.
Worth watching?
Songbird, not Mockingbird. Songbird.
Not going to win any
Sorry.
Oscars.
That's who Mel's playing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Songbird, not Mockingbird. Sorry. So
I'm curious though. The girl that played Olga Kurylenko played Antonia Dreykov, the one that got shot.
Taskmaster?
Yeah. So why do you think they killed off one out of the group?
I think what I read was that nobody liked what they did with the Taskmaster character in Black Widow, so they decided just to get rid of her at the beginning.
Okay.
Show that these people are capable of killing, and and then probably to lend this idea that these folks may not be, guaranteed to stay alive.
yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know, I don't know the task. These characters I don't know very well. But the Taskmaster, I know that after Black Widow came out, a lot of people did not like what they did with that.
I guess
Or
I kept
the 6 people that know who the Taskmaster are.
I kept thinking maybe she was going to come back.
Yeah,
somehow.
I kept thinking so too. I thought she might
maybe
come
she'd
back
have
and
that
be
power to come back somehow. But
Well, there was also speculation that Baron Zemo might show up as a
he
Thunderbolt,
was supposed to be,
which he would have been great. I love that.
I like
character.
that guy, that actor too.
Yeah, because he was in Captain America and Winter Soldier. So, all right, let's. So they go through, they work through. They're revealed at a press splash as the new Avengers, and then we get to the jump scene at the end. Oh, let's
do the first scene first.
The first thing. So. Guardian is cruising the shopping aisles, hanging out.
Yeah.
He's in a grocery store hanging out on the cereal aisle because the Thunderbolts are on
the new Avengers.
The new Avengers are on the front of the Wheaties box.
Yes.
And he's looking for somebody to pick up a Wheaties box and see if they would notice that he's there. Hilarious. He's like an old divorced guy shopping for a date in a grocery store.
And the customer takes the Wheaties box and then drops it off before. So it's
it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
So Ken David Harbour is great. I just finished rewatching The Newsroom, and he had a role in the Newsroom. Yeah,
Okay.
I would highly recommend The Newsroom if you guys want to watch something that's it's 3 seasons. It's relatively lighthearted. It's great.
Is it on Max?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At least it is this week.
Yeah.
Who knows? With Max, you never know. So
and then the end credit scene.
So it's 13 months later, 14 months
14 months later.
14 months later, they're in what was Avengers Tower. I guess it's now a new Avengers Tower.
Yeah.
There's discussion that Bucky had talked to Sam about the name Avengers. He's trying to get it trademark, copyrighted.
Yeah.
Red Guardian's like, I have an idea, and he's got his jumps, he's got his tracksuit with.
it's like a F1. It's like a driving suit.
Yeah.
It's got advertisements on sponsors on it.
And it's Avengers with a Z.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've got one for all of you, even you, Bob. And Bob's over in the corner.
She's like, it's as soft as a baby seal's butt. She's like, I don't want to touch a baby seal's butt.
That was hilarious. So, but they're talking about friction with the Sam Wilson Avengers, which led us to talk about are we looking at the genesis of the West Coast
That
Avengers?
to me would be the best solution to that.
Yeah.
Put them in Los Angeles or wherever the West Coast Avengers are, and just have a separate group. Because one thing that I think is they keep talking about in this movie that in other movies, the Avengers are gone; they're not going to come back or whatever. So this idea that
They're
you
not
have
here to save us.
yeah. So that the idea that you've got one for each coast. Now, what I was going to ask you: are there other Avengers groups too?
I don't remember.
Is there Dark Avengers or anything
Isn't
like
there
that?
a Dark Avengers?
That's what somebody else mentioned. Maybe they could
young
become.
Avengers, right? Isn't there a young?
Yeah.
Avengers?
Yeah, that's what. And they said Haley Stanfield was going to be part of the Young Avengers, but I think she's part of just the regular Avengers. Going forward.
I'm looking for.
While you're looking, talking about the copyright thing, did you notice that on the Avengers Instagram page now it just says copyright Avengers?
No,
It's got a copyright C in front of the name
Interesting.
right there.
that is too funny.
That is
Which
hilarious.
I think I saw that somebody else had posted that. I think it was done entirely for this.
Oh yeah,
for this
bound to be.
movie.
So here in the comics are the major teams. There's the original Avengers. There's the new Avengers,
There is a new Avengers,
which
okay.
was a rebooted team following Avengers Disassembled, featuring a new roster. There's the Young Avengers. There's the Mighty Avengers, which was a team led by Iron Man and Hank Pym. There's the Dark Avengers, formed by Norman Osborn, with Green Goblin, featuring villainous characters. There's the characters. There's the Uncanny Avengers / Avengers Unity Division.
Is that like X-Men Avengers?
A team led by Steve and Alex formed after Avengers versus X-Men, AVX. Sunspots Avengers / U.S. Avengers, a team formed by Hickman and continued through Ewing's run. So then there's a few other Avengers. There's Cap's Kooky Quartet, which is Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and Hawkeye, along with Captain America. There's the Great Lake Avengers, a team of more obscure and lesser powered heroes.
So we got West Coast, East Coast, and the
Great
Great
Lakes.
Lakes.
You have
And the Gulf of America Avengers.
Where's the Southern Avengers?
You have those Bo and Duke Luke. I mean, Bo and Luke Duke. You have the Secret Avengers, which was a Black Ops unit, and then you have Avengers Academy, then Avengers World, a team that operates globally.
Okay.
So, anyway,
That's a lot to keep up with.
that is.
And then you also had the Defenders and Intruders, which was sometimes made up of different. Were Intruders one?
I don't remember the
I
Intruders.
think they were, but I may be completely wrong on that. I may be thinking that's a TV show. Now that I think about it.
Then there was the Outsiders that we talked about last week.
Outsiders, yeah.
But the Outsiders were DC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marvel superhero teams. See how many they've got. X-Men, Defenders, Inhumans, Avengers, Guardians, Alpha Flight, Fantastic Four, Eternals, Thunderbolts,
Eternals is who I think was. We talked about them earlier, but maybe that's one.
Young Avengers, Hardcores, Champions, Runaways, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So there's a lot. Oh, there's a lot more than that. There's the Big Hero 6, Defenders, Excalibur, Fantastic Four. Oh my, lots of stuff. Secret Warriors. I forgot about the Secret Warriors. The Power Pack. You remember the Power Pack?
The Power Pack.
Didn't watch any of them. New Mutants.
Yeah.
Which they tried to do a New Mutant spinoff years ago. So anyway, we'll reel it back in. Yeah. So they talk about the copyright infringement and the deal with Sam's, and they talk about a space incursion, and they zoom in on this rocket ship, which has on it 4, which is a fantastic number. And it's the Fantastic Four theme that plays underneath the reveal of that. So, I mean...
So what we're seeing is, and this is the Fantastic Four comes out end of June?
July.
1st of July.
End of July.
End of July. Oh, so Superman comes out first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking it was the other way
Who's
around.
on first?
Yeah, who's on first? So setting that up.
Which is kind of interesting to see them revealing the Fantastic Four before the movie. So, but I guess it just makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
That was exciting. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
excited to see that.
Yeah.
So we figured that, all 4 of them are in there. They're coming to
5.
Herbie?
They've got to have Herbie.
Herbie's going to make the trip. That's right.
Herbie's got to make the trip.
Do you think the Franklin's been born yet?
I don't think so. I think Franklin's going to be born
In this-
in Earth 616.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and does Galacticus and Silver Surfer follow through? That's the next question.
Yeah.
So
That's what I would think. I think Fantastic Four is going to establish themselves. Well, no, I guess because the movie takes place in their dimension, probably until the end, and that's when they pick up here. So, what comes after Fantastic Four? After the Fantastic Four movie?
I think it's Doomsday, right?
Okay, that's not till next year.
Yeah, that's not this year. I think.
So,
that's exciting.
it is exciting.
Well, another thing that's funny to me is that as Red Guardian was pitching the idea of them all wearing matching uniforms that looked a lot like tracksuits, I said that seems very similar to what the Fantastic Four is going to show up in. You know,
Except they're going to look more like pajamas.
yeah.
So, what was the moment in the movie that surprised you the most in Thunderbolts Asterisk? I'm definitely getting somewhere here because Robbie in the movie went.
I don't remember saying that, but them going after Valentina and then they stamping through and there's the press conference. That was probably surprising. When did I go?
When
Was that me or was that mine?
When Red Guardian had saved the little girl.
Oh yeah,
and all of a sudden the dark shadow comes and she went poof.
Well, it wasn't just me.
The whole audience.
I know.
And Bonnie and I, Robbie's wife and I worked together for those just tuning in for the first time, and we talked a little bit about the movie.
And why would you?
And you know, we were saying how the audience was so into it. Mm-hmm. There was one time they laughed, and I swear it sounded like a laugh track had been added to because it was so much the whole audience and so much that just typical canned laughter kind of sound. But they
redeemed itself, but everybody was like, they really did that.
I didn't expect the kid to get.
I didn't either.
Into the void.
And at that point, you're going, okay, well, maybe this isn't. Maybe this is redeemable. But what I thought was going to happen was I thought Red Guardian was going to have sacrificed his life. He says something to her, and then he collapses and dies from that. Because I thought the weight was going to be too much for him. But
it was
still here.
Yeah. You and I are the same. We both have super soldier serum?
Yeah.
Him and
what kind of serum did you get? Hydra. Oh, Hydra.
Oh, that's a good vintage. So that's pretty.
And I'm excited about seeing what happens because it said Bob will return. So I'm curious.
They said the new Avengers and Bob
right.
will return.
So I, not knowing anything about him, but I really thought the character was interesting, and I'm anxious to see more of what he does.
Yeah, if he can get his dark side under the control.
So how long has that character been around? He's late 80s kind of
90s
character.
Is what I just read.
Okay,
and then the whole idea of the void, that's his arch enemy.
Okay, so that's something that's not just. There's more to it.
The
than
void
just,
is the arch enemy.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's his arch enemy.
As opposed to the Noid.
So he's going to get in there. Pizza. Kang is going to be in
When
there.
the Noid from Pizza? Yeah.
Well, it's from Domino's.
Domino's, yeah. Not pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's kind of, I'm looking here. So the description, middle-aged, overweight Bob Reynolds remembers that he is Sentry, a superhero. Whose power is derived from a special serum, realizing that his sorghum, realizing that his arch enemy, the Void, is returning. He seeks out several prominent Marvel characters to warn them and discover why no one remembers the Sentry. So. Sounds like there was this is from the comic book. So anyway,
so the Southern Avengers superhero is he's got super soldier sorghum.
You gotta love that sorghum. So hey, look, I had a root canal 2 days ago. I'm still having problems. So all right. Overall, we all enjoyed it.
All enjoyed it. Feel like it's I think you said it best. It's a promise of things to come. We feel like we're starting to get back on the right track.
Would you go back to the theater to rewatch it?
I may actually go back because after I talked to Will about it, he said, well, I thought about going. I said, well, I should have called you to see it. I said, I thought you were going to go see it with friends. And
he's like, I am. I didn't want to go see it with your friends.
Right. So now that I told, especially, being that he's in therapy, he's doing therapy, he's a counselor, he's kind of interested in that whole aspect of it.
So, by the way, Jay, when Art can't show up for the podcast, we have Will available.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
That's right. I mean,
He
I
still
just,
wants to do the Dungeons and Dragons thing. We've got about 20 people that want to do the Dungeons and Dragons.
So I've got the Dungeons and Dragons starter set that I picked up at the comic book shop in Seattle with the Brewmeister D&D cocktail book.
Just put a big table out in the big room there.
I tell you, no, we're going to do it at Luva, man.
Oh, that's right.
We're going to do it at Luva. We're going to make it high class.
So after the movie, I texted my son Jacob and said, you need to go see Thunderbolts while you can, because he's going to be a father like any minute now.
Any second. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So
that's going to be pink or blue smoke.
So it's pink smoke. We know that already. But anyway, I don't. Maybe I'll go see it with him if we have a moment. But I'm not expecting to have a moment. But anyway, by the time this airs, I could be a grandfather.
That's right.
Or not. It may
or
be
not.
Maybe
or not.
a couple.
Or by the time somebody listens to it in 2026, I will be.
Yes, that's right. You can
Somebody
be
who started at the beginning and got through all episode 300.
Yeah,
and
your grandchild by the time she
Right.
listens to this.
That's right. That's right. So,
I hear they've been playing the podcast, holding up the phone to the womb, kind of like they do with Mozart and stuff like that, to kind of get her ready. Or not.
isn't that child abuse?
I'm sorry to all the Reeds listening in for that one.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we're excited for you.
Yeah, and some are a little too excited. So, but that's okay. So, all right, we'll see you next time around.